Welcome everyone. So we started the topic of ionic compounds and we discussed about examples and formation of different ionic compounds like sodium chloride, magnesium chloride, and we also discussed definition of ionic compounds and some of the important terms related to it. Today we will discuss about properties of ionic compound. Now this is also very important topic. So here it is given to learn about the properties of ionic compounds. Let us perform the following activity. Activity 3.13. Take samples of sodium chloride, potassium iodide, barium chloride or any other salt from the science laboratory. So actually in science laboratory you may find lot of different salts available, but actually these are the most commonly found salts which are available in science laboratory, and that is why it is given here. What is the physical state of these salts? Take a small amount of a sample on a metal spatula and heat directly on the flame as it is shown in figure 3.7. Repeat with other samples. So as you can see in figure 3.7 that how different salt samples are heated over the burner with the help of metal spatula. What did you observe? Did the samples impart any color to the flame? Do these compounds melt? Try to dissolve the samples in water, petrol and kerosene. Are they soluble? So let us discuss the answers of these questions given here. So first question is, what is the physical state of these salts? So the physical state of these salts is solid. Now see these salts which is given here, they are ionic compounds, or all the salts they are ionic compounds, and ionic compounds, almost all the ionic compounds, they exist in solid state. So that is why physical state of these salts is also solid. Take a small amount of a sample on a metal spatula and heat directly on the flame. Repeat with other samples. So what will be your observation when you will perform this activity? Did the samples impart any color to the flame? So the answer is yes. Different metal samples, they will impart different colors to the flame, and I will also be sharing one video with you all related to particularly this question, so you will be easily able to understand that how different salts or how different ionic compounds, they are imparting different colors to the flame. Do these compounds melt? Now the answer is these compounds will not melt. Just by heating these compounds over the burner, that means the heat is not so high, these compounds won't melt, because ionic compounds, they are having very high melting point and boiling point, and that is also given just after this activity, I think, in the form of table. Now the next question is, try to dissolve the samples in water, petrol and kerosene. Are they soluble? So the answer is that when you are dissolving these samples in water or petrol or kerosene, you will find that these samples, they are only soluble in water. They are not soluble in petrol and kerosene. Just I want to discuss few terms related with this question particularly, is that see, water is having different nature than that of petrol, kerosene, diesel, like these kind of substances. Water is said to be a polar solvent, and petrol, kerosene and diesel, these are the examples of non-polar solvents, or you can say organic solvents in short. So just you write somewhere that water is an example of polar solvent, and kerosene and petrol, they are the example of non-polar solvent or organic solvent. So the ionic compounds, they are soluble only in polar solvent like water. They are completely insoluble in organic solvents or non-polar solvents like petrol and kerosene oil. So this is very important point. The reason is that because one sentence you may find also, not particularly in this class but maybe in higher standard, is that like dissolves like. So what actually happens when you are dissolving ionic compound in water, the nature of ionic compound, or you can say these salts, they are similar to that of water. They only exist, like that means water exists in liquid state and these salts, they are generally existing in solid state. That is not the nature, this is the physical nature. I am not talking about that nature, but generally the nature, that means both are, you can say, ionic or polar in nature, and that is why these ionic compounds, they are soluble in polar solvent. So this is important point, you just mark it. Now other question is that make a circuit as shown in figure 3.8 and insert the electrodes into a solution of one salt. What did you observe? Test the other salt samples too in this manner. So what you have to do, you simply have to make a complete circuit like this, and when you have to, actually this particular question, it is based on the conductivity of the of ionic compounds, that whether ionic compounds they are good conductor of electricity or not. For that only we are doing this. So here we are taking ionic compound in its aqueous state. That means by dissolving it in water, we are forming this. We are taking it, and that is why it is given here that salt solution under test. And then you have to just complete the circuit with the help of switch, bulb, battery, and everything, like one electrode also you want, and that is why graphite is a very good and the most commonly used electrode for such kind of activity. That is why it is taken here. So now what did you observe? Test the other salt samples too in this manner. So you will observe that bulb will glow. Now what is the reason why bulb glows? The reason is that because this salt solution which you have formed by mixing any of the above given salt or all of the above given salt, when you have dissolved that in water, that means by making their aqueous solution, they are good conductor of electricity. The reason is that because when ionic compounds they are getting soluble or they are getting dissolved in water, then they break down into their constituent ions. So this we also discussed when we were discussing about the brine solution. If you know, that is the part of the manufacturing of caustic soda, NaOH, sodium hydroxide, and that we have also taken brine. So brine is also, what is brine? Brine is a aqueous solution of NaCl. So when you are mixing NaCl in water, then that is said to be brine, and in that what happens, we are getting different ions. So what we got in that, we got 4 different type of ions. 2 are positive ions and 2 are negative ions. If you don't remember, just go through it for a minute, and everything, if you have studied, then definitely you will be able to recall very easily. So just I am giving that reference because the same thing will happen with NaCl. If you haven't taken NaCl, if you have taken any other salt, then with all the salts what happen, that if you are dissolving any of the salt, any of the ionic compound in water, then that ionic compound or salt will break down into its constituent ions. For example, if you have taken potassium iodide and if you have dissolved that in water, then the ions which you are going to get is potassium ion and iodide ion. So this is what the case with all the ionic compounds, all the salts, and because of the formation of the or presence of the ions in water, they become conducting. So ionic compounds, they are good conductor of electricity, or they are conducting in nature in its solution form or aqueous form, and also in the molten state. This is a very important point. Again, later on in the same topic, we will be discussing about the properties one by one. Again, in that we will be discussing about these terms and these topics in more detail. So what is your inference about the nature of these compounds? So whatever the answers which we have discussed for the questions given in the activity, you can definitely form your own conclusion, form your own inference about the nature of these ionic compounds, and just uh, try to get the conclusion, try to get the inference by yourself. At least that will help you to remember this thing and learn these things in a proper manner. So just you make the points, what are the important points are there in the answers which we have discussed today for the questions given in the activity, and that is what are the nature of the ionic compounds. And again in detail we will be discussing these points later in the same topic. Now you can see table 3.4, which is given for the melting and boiling points of some ionic compounds. In that you can see that the melting point and boiling point of these ionic compounds, these salts, they are very high. Just look at the melting point, they are very high, and again these temperatures they are given in Kelvin and not degree Celsius. So this is also important. Like you don't have to remember, just it is given for you to understand that ionic compound they are having very high melting point and boiling point. It is given for your understanding only. So for the NaCl, LiCl or calcium chloride, calcium oxide, magnesium chloride, all these are the ionic compounds, and you can see that they are having very high melting point and boiling point. So this is about today. Now again just one question I want to ask from you is that what is the reason behind very high melting and boiling point of these ionic compounds? You will easily find the reason Just a hint I am giving that this reason lies in the formation or the definition of ionic compounds. That is the, just you try to find the reason behind the high melting point and boiling point of these ionic compounds, because sometimes the reason can also be answered. You can say most of the times that the reason behind the different properties of ionic compounds, they are also asked. So just try to find that. You just don't have to learn this and remember this without knowing the concept, without understanding the reasons. You just don't have to remember it. You have to understand all the points and all the properties with reason. So just try to find the answer of this question. Thank you so much.